Hey everybody, it's Dumb Guy Live, your favorite African podcast. We're big Afrobeats fans here. We love Malik Berry, and this is what we do. Control, control. All right. Anyway, how do I figure this out? Oh, here we go. Watch this. Hang on. We'll see. Is it gonna do it? Ooh, it didn't do it. Okay, never mind. Okay, beautiful. Welcome to Dumb Guy Live, everybody. I hope we're all having a good day. Why is it still playing? Is that how long the fade goes? This is,
Should do it like Hannah in the arena. Just
you know
have
what
it
it
up for the
does
whole.
is it fades out until the
whole
end
show.
of the entire song. So I don't know. Here's what. All right, that was a good bit. That was good. That made me smile. You guys, I was cracking up, uploading that in there before the show. I'm just like giggling to myself. Jamie's here. We're downloading music from IWGP.com and putting it on there. And
We got a good clip for Twitter.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Save
That'll be
this
good.
clip.
Oh my god. Okay, everybody, welcome to Dumb Guy Live. It's April 25th, 2023. Myself, P. We've got Jamie. We've got Murph. Fellas, how are we doing today?
That was the first and last time we've played licensed music because the boss has come down on us.
Yeah, I knew he'd get mad at us for that, but it was worth it for the bit, and you know what? I'm here to have fun. Yeah, Jamie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I've had a good week. Finished all my uni work, so I can now just watch as much wrestling as I'd like.
Excellent.
You know, not that I wasn't doing that anyway, because I'm
Right.
irresponsible.
I haven't finished school yet, but I
sleep.
am a high school senior in my second semester, which means I'm done with school because who gives a shit? So I'm just watching wrestling too. It's great.
Jamie, talk about your sleep schedule leading into the Stardom show this weekend.
Oh man, it's a bit fucked, man. So I'm up. You know, I see some UFCs on. Curtis Blades, Sergey Pavlovich. I'm like, oh, I'll watch it. Finishes around 3, the main card. I go to bed. I can't sleep. An hour goes by, and then Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia starts. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll watch this. That goes until 5. And then by that time, there's 2 hours till Stardom starts. And I'm up. No sleep. And it's been a bit rough since.
I can't do it. I can't do it. That's not my life. You guys. So here's the deal. I'm a professional, and what I did is, I live about 3 feet from train tracks, and I left my window open, and there's currently a train going by. So I'll be right back, and I'm gonna go shut my window. Jamie, talk about some Stardom pre-show. It was one of the biggest shows in Stardom history. I'm gonna go do this. You get us going on this.
Yeah, so obviously for anyone that missed it, we had All-Star Grand Queendom this past Sunday. Like Parker said, the biggest show in Stardom's history. They ran Yokohama Arena. Did a nice gate. I think they did around, how many did they do? 5,
like 6,000, right?
6,000, something like that. And we kicked off with the usual big pre-show battle royal. We had, all the all the usual battle royal people in, all the youngsters, all the rookies. Koguma was there. Momo and Nakanishi was there. She competed at Yokohama Arena quite a while ago, back in the All Japan Women days. And yeah, it was just a good time. Mai Sakurai won. She continues to be the biggest heel in Joshi.
Were there any surprises in the Rumble? I didn't watch the Rumble. I skipped it.
No, everyone was pretty.
They're all like just the other people on the roster and like people who would be on New Blood. I guess this wasn't a surprise, but Momoe Nakanishi was in the match as well.
You see,
she was.
I like that because the last Stardom Rumble I watched, Kikutaro was being like a pervert and it wasn't fun at all. So I'm happy that they've evolved from that.
Yeah. It was just a Rumble. I got to be honest, you guys, I did not watch it. So
I didn't watch any of the pre-show.
Yeah. Then we had go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, there wasn't like too much to talk about. Hanan had new gear, and she looks a lot like Arisa Hoshiki.
She looks uncannily like Arisa Hoshiki. It's pretty wild. I think the new look suits her though. It's definitely like it's less like like she was literally a child, so her look was kind of like childish. So I think she looks more mature now, which I think is the right call if they're, because they're obviously super high on Hanan, but the roster's so stacked, it's hard to move her up, especially when she's, it's hard to move past that tier of Micah, Mirai, and Starlight Kid and all those people. And I think gear on that level will help her out too. Okay, eight-man tag match here. This was Oedo Tai, Momo, Natsuko, Saki, and Ruaka against a fun team, Club Venus, Mariah May, Xena, and Jessie, alongside Tekla, of all people. There's some this is when I started the show. I did not watch the Rumble, but I did watch this. There was like fun interactions with Tekla and everybody. But yeah. What you think, Jamie?
Yeah, just not like too much to talk about really. The work was pretty solid. I've enjoyed Mariah May so far in Stardom. I think she's been a pretty solid find for them. Obviously, we're not seeing too much of the others yet, but early signs are looking decent. And yeah, the interactions between Tekla and the rest of Club Venus and the whole finish that came from that was pretty fun. But yeah, nothing too much to talk about in that one.
Okay, this is the start of the main card here. This is when things get actually interesting. Everything from here on out is notable in some way. Which there's not many cards that you can say that you close with 9, the entire main card, 9 matches is all notable in some way. Before we do that, a couple super chats here. We started out before we even got on the air. Heart Editing $1.99 super chat. Thoughts on Tam Nakano? Oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. She's
that piece
she's
of
good.
shit. Heart Editing, man.
Yeah. She's good. We'll talk plenty
She's
about Tam Nakano. Yeah, don't you worry your little head about that. And then we also have, if I scroll we have like a really active live chat today. This is good. Now I understand why Monty like stars things when we do other podcasts. We got Princess Diana. Oedo Tai is as dead as I am.
True.
Well, no, you're literally dead. Oedo Tai, I think you're sort of saying like figuratively dead, so to speak. Because they were on this show, but at the same time, I appreciate the super chat anyway. You would think a literal princess would be able to donate more than $2 to the super chat, but she also, I guess, I don't know what kind of income she's had over the last 30 years.
Yeah, so. She's also dead. It must be pretty rough, Right. Great. We appreciate it, Princess Diana.
Yeah, I think Oedo Tai is fine. I think the expectation that they're supposed to be like Kagetsu level is a little misguided.
They're if I had to like pick a faction that I'm like rooting for, they're my favorite faction.
Yeah. They're just there to be themselves, to be a stable to put places. Okay. Yes, notable match number 1, the opener on the main card here. This was Azumi and Mei Suruga taking on Starlight Kid and the re-debuting Mei Sarah, formerly Mei Hoshizuki, wrestling her first match in 18 months. Her last match was against Chihiro Hashimoto at Korakuen Hall for Marvelous in August of 2021. So it's been a long time since we've seen Mei Hoshizuki, Mei Sarah now, of course, in wrestling. I think an interesting little look at this is way back when I started the 5-Star Joshi show, Scott and I did a Joshi draft, and you had to pick a wrestler under one of our like constraints was you had to pick a wrestler under 20, and you had to pick a wrestler that fit like the high speed bill. And I was really annoyed because Scott, I think, there was like an obvious choice for that. It might have been Azumi, I can't remember. And I sort of like settled on Mei Hoshizuki. But I mean, still, for a Joshi draft, we only drafted like 12 people. I think that's pretty notable that she was that high up on our list, that she was the next person up. So to have her gone for that long was a big deal. But I thought she looked great in this match. She did not appear like she had been gone for 18 months. I enjoyed everybody's interactions in this one. The Azumi and Mei Suruga team is fun. They have like good chemistry. And I mean, I obviously presume and hope that Mei Sarah is signed, because she has so much to offer, and she's still like super young. Like, what is she, like 21? Yeah, she's literally 21 years old.
Yeah, she hasn't missed a beat, right? It was like 100 mile an hour from the off. I believe she's announced for like the whole Golden Week tour. So I imagine she's signed. But yeah, no, I like that this match opened the show. You know, kick it off with like a pretty, you know, you can't get more high speed than this tag match, right? And I thought all the interactions, like you say, were pretty fun. I'd like to see a match between Starlight Kid and Mei Suruga. I don't think we've got that yet, unless I'm forgetting anything. But their interactions were pretty fun. But yeah, this was a fun opener. What did you think of it, Merv?
You may be surprised by this. This was my third favorite match on the show. I thought this match was tremendous. I'm a big fan of high-speed wrestling, and, this match is, if you want to make a Jack Murphy Stardom match, this is the match you give me. And this is the match that, to start off a show, this is the match that wants me to keep watching. Like, I adore this match. I'm a big fan of Mei Sarah. I like there's Meho Suzuki. I don't, seek out, wrestling outside of Stardom or Tokyo Joshi Pro, in Joshi. So, I haven't really seen much of her outside of, her Stardom work 2 years ago. But no, I'm a very big fan of her, and Mei Suruga's tremendous. I hope she gets more of an AW look in 2023. And, Azumi and Starlight Kid, what else could you say? So this was my third favorite match on the show. I loved it. I was very high in this match.
I'm kind of take it or leave it on Mei Suruga, but all 3 of the other ones I thought were great.
I was at first, but she's grown on me. I think
I think she has flashes where she's awesome. She's had great matches, legitimately great matches with Emi Sakura, with Yuna Mizumori in Gato Move. I don't know. I just I'm pretty cynical about the high speed deal. I'm whatever. It's a different. It's the rules were different in this match because there were no tags, but generally speaking, the rule set is just a normal match. So I don't understand what makes something a high speed match aside from the fact that they're running. I think it's a contrived thing, but I think Starlight Kid, especially out of all these, is good enough to wrestle.
These are the type of matches from Stardom I enjoy the most. So this match definitely hooked me for the rest of the show.
Yeah, I believe Starlight Kid she said she's graduated the high speed division after this one. She wants to move up. She'll probably still wear high speed style matches, but she's no longer gunning for the title. And I think we know who the next champion will be, and I think it'll be Mei Sarah. We have that match announced for the next pay-per-view, so I think we're getting that sooner rather than later.
The next match was a bit of a novelty. We had Utami, Hayashishida, and Mio Amasaki of Queen's Quest taking on Hazuki and Fuwa-chan, YouTuber, celebrity, sort of like a comedian type deal. Jamie, I'm going to be honest. I know that people really like Fuwa-chan. I did not watch this because I don't care. But what'd you think? What'd you think of this?
I thought it was pretty good. Obviously, the match didn't hit the heights of the rest of the show, but
right.
It was such a high quality show. For a second match, I thought Fuwa-chan was really good. She took a mean lariat from Utami and landed bang on on her neck. Throwing into that kind of Joshi style of wrestling straight away. But yeah, she trained with Hazuki and Okada in the build up to this, and I thought she did a great job. She's obviously a really big deal, more so than I thought. I've seen the interactions and stuff in the build up and after this show. She's like a superstar over there, right? And I thought she did a great job. Obviously, Utami and Hazuki's interactions were great. We know how good those two are, and yeah, it was just pretty good stuff for a second match. I don't think you could have asked for too much more.
Did you like all the people complaining that Utami was in the second match on the show? I don't know. I saw people complaining about that, and then I didn't actually see anybody complaining that Utami was in the second match on the show.
Wait, look at Mavs fan super chat. Wait,
Mavs fans.
Wait, we just pop. I just gotta pop for this real quick.
It's not a super chat.
Just a chat. It popped me.
Okay.
Yes, Mavs fan. That is me. I was ringside at that show. I was in the front row, so that I'll actually have to watch that back because I was right there, and that's actually so cool. So thank you, Mavs fan, for recognizing me.
Jealous.
This match is for someone. There's someone out there who this match is targeted for. It's not me. I thought it was, compared to the rest of the show and outside of one match, outside of that example, this match was just not good. I didn't find it to be that good.
I also just think this match was longer than the Micah Himeka match and the IWGP Women's Title match, which is I don't know if it I don't know if it needed that much time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
We didn't
So,
need
but
to,
again, I didn't watch it. I'm not going to render too much of a judgment on it.
Yeah, don't
Okay.
care.
From here on out, this is where it gets like whoa, like everything is like important in some way. We had Himeka's retirement match, a singles match. She took on Micah, 14 minutes, and I thought this was legitimately the best match of Himeka's career. I thought the in-ring was excellent. I thought it was extremely hard-hitting. They didn't waste any time. They didn't make it... I thought they had the perfect amount of melodrama in there, right? With it's easy in retirement matches like this to go overboard and just be like so dramatic about it and that it's over and everything. But up until about the final minute or 90 seconds or so, just beating the shit out of each other, just like really hard hitting. And then we get to that final minute and it's like, okay, we're in the closing stretch. Micah's going to win this. She hits the Micah driver. She, Himeka's down. They're both crying. Micah hits the it's the headbutt, the shoot headbutt, and pins her. I thought this match was great, and I was really glad that Himeka was able to have a match like this before she retired. We didn't really talk about it, but the Maihime versus AOK match from Korakuen was excellent. As was, I thought, there was another one from her retirement tour that I really enjoyed as well, but I'm not remembering it off the top of my head. But yeah, I thought this match was great. I was really impressed, and we'll talk. We'll talk about the match first, but in a moment we'll definitely talk a little bit about Himeka too and her career. Jamie, what'd you think?
I love this. there's no other time when Stardom wrestlers, they go crazy when they're wrestling their friends, and with the added stakes of this one, this was like they just beat the shit out of each other, like you said, right until the finish. And that finish, man, I'm not the biggest lover of like shoot headbutts with the whole Shibata thing. I don't mind one every now and then, but when it gets a bit over the top,
there were lots on this show.
there were quite a lot. But God, this was like the Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, I'm sorry, I love you moments with the shoot headbutt replaced. That was incredible. But easily Himeka's best match in her career for me. I thought this was like incredible. Micah coming out of this, I think we need to find something like meaningful for her to do, because she looks like a star here as well. And I think this is like a good way to catapult her further up the roster. But yeah, just perfect way to go out for Himeka. And they've done so much right by her in this retirement tour, and I'm really glad to see.
I was going to echo that exact sentiment about Micah. Like, obviously, the perfect final opponent for Himeka. I'm sure it's who Himeka handpicked, right? And yeah, I mean, Micah, like, there's a lot of people. Like I said, we've talked about this we've talked about this on the show a lot, right? There's that upper mid card sort of glass ceiling with Micah and Natsupoi and Mirai and Starlight Kid and all these people, right? All these wrestlers who are trying to bust into that pretty difficult to get into upper echelon of like Mayu and Shuri and Utami and Julia and those types, right? And I think this is the time for them to do something with Micah. Like, she's got to be next up. Out of everybody else on the roster, for me, it's got to be Micah. She is so excellent. She is popular. She is likable. She is insanely hard-hitting. She always puts on great matches. She's frequently the hardest worker in every match. She's the best seller in Stardom, in my opinion, like bar none. She just lets herself like take all this insane punishment just because she can, right? Because that's what you do to get a match over. And I'm so impressed with her consistently. When she came into Stardom for the first year or so, I was really not a fan. I thought she was boring. She didn't add much to me. And then she had the world title match with Utami in like January 2021. And then she had a fantastic 5-star Grand Prix that year too. She also had the AOK tag title match with Maihime again, but this was the classic one that went like a half hour. And so yeah, it's definitely time for them to do something with Micah. If there's anybody on the roster, she'd be my pick. Really quickly before anybody else goes, yeah, I'd say that's more like it. Princess Diana, $50 super chat from Princess Diana. Is this enough? A Club Venus forever. Oh, really? You're a Club Venus fan? Are you like an honorary member? Who's your favorite Club Venus member? Mine's Waka. What about
Gina.
you? You like yours is Itina. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you so much, Princess Diana. We appreciate it. That's
I'd
more
go
than
for
enough.
the boring pick of Mina.
Mina,
you know.
that's okay. That's okay to pick that. Okay,
Thank you.
Murph, do you have anything to add about the match, or do you want to get into Himeka?
For I want to disclose at first that I didn't really watch anything from her retirement road or anything, and I'm really just watching this match in a vacuum, but still it's a tremendous match. I mean, obviously I can tell how much this means to people, and I mean, with like the abundance of retirement matches in Japanese wrestling over the last couple of years, do I think it was like the top tier of that? No, because I wasn't, but also that may be just because I wasn't invested in the story as much. But in a vacuum, this was a very good match. I enjoyed it. I was never a big Himeka fan, but this was a good way to send her off, and I like Michael a lot. So hopefully this leads to big things for her.
Okay, let's talk about Himeka. End of her career, right? She's got one more match in Wave, right? Everybody says that, but it's like it's fucking Wave. It's in the Sakura Hirota verse, so it's like not real to me. Like this was her retirement match, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's a Stardom wrestler. It's her last match in Stardom. It's against her tag team partner. No, Himeka is one of those people who what the number one thing when I'm thinking about, okay, what makes her stand out from her career is when finally at the start of this year we started getting cheering back in arenas for Stardom, because Stardom was like the last company to actually have cheering back, right? I was blown away by just how popular she was. She got some of the biggest reactions on the entire roster when she'd come out. They just love her. She's super likable, and I love how she was kind of miscast at first as like this monster heel type. They had her go to, I think, the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix in her first year. She challenged Julia for the Wonder Belt, right? I think she beat Mayu in that 5-star, I want to say. I could be wrong on that one. But they gave her like this big push at like the heart of the pandemic, right? This is in the immediate aftermath of Hana Kimura's death, of course. And they're like, let's go all the way with this Himeka person. All right. It didn't quite work out. I don't think how they anticipated. I think they did see her as like a top star at one point, and then it just didn't really materialize. But I think she stuck with it. She was, like I said, I can't express enough the popularity aspect. She's just adored. Like the people just love her. And I think she shined the most appropriately in tag team matches with Micah specifically. That team was so good. They're like built for each other. The size discrepancy, but they still wrestle pretty much the same, right? You can have them wrestle as baby faces with Micah getting beat up the entire time, and then you give Himeka the hot tag, or you can have them wrestle as sort of the heels because they're so well built and dominant and everything like that. I think it's just a great tag team, and I think when we look back on it, people will think that Mai Hime is one of the best tag teams in Stardom history. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to say that about Himeka. I think they completely knocked her retirement road out of the park. Can't imagine it being booked any better. Can't imagine this retirement match going any better. And I'm very glad that she got to go out on her own terms. 25 years old is very young to retire, but she's earned it.
I did I think it was Chris Charlton mentioned on commentary, and I wasn't too aware of this. I think he mentioned that her dad had recently passed away, and that had affected their decision to step away from the ring. I don't know if we knew that prior, but it's the first time I heard it. So that's.
If you didn't know, then we didn't know, because you're the Stardom guy.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't know, then maybe it wasn't out there before. But no, that was the first time I'd heard that. But I've enjoyed Himeka throughout her career, and she couldn't have gone out in a better way. I'm going to be working on a career, kind of career in review for Himeka. And I know, Parker, you're going to chip in a little bit there. Mm-hmm. So keep your eyes out for that one. I'm looking forward to finishing up that as soon as possible. Godspeed,
Himeka. I hope you find whatever you're looking for in life, genuinely, because you made a lot of people happy, and there's not a lot of people who can say that, right? So I want to quickly shout out. We got a message here from Mookie here, Dumb Guy Live, debuting in 2 days for Ring of Honor, taking on the Best Friends. I like that they misspelled your name in the graphic. I thought that was very funny. But you deserve it. You've worked insanely hard. I know you've had some rough patches, but you're going places, and you will always have Dumb Guy Live's
Congrats, my friend.
support no matter what you do. Congratulations. And thank you for tuning in.
Hopefully,
Means a lot.
Mookie, when you make it big, you can come back on our show and you can help us pop a number. So,
You'll be our draw because we know Jamie's not a draw. So that's I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that. I should have just been self-deprecating.
Nowhere, man.
But all right. Thank you, Himeka, for your career. Goddesses of Stardom title. This was 7-Up, Nanai Takahashi and you losing via count out to the, what are they, like the future? What's their thing?
The future, the new eras.
The new eras of Mirai and Ami. All right, we're just going to talk about how bad this match is now. It was kind of bad. But anyway, Mirai, Ami Sourei win the titles. They are the new Goddess of Stardom Tag Team Champions, which I'm both a fan of and like kind of baffled by too. But Murph, you seem like you really want to talk about this, so I'm just going to let you go ahead and do that.
This was the worst major wrestling match of the year. This fucking sucked. There's no redeeming quality about this match other than the fact that Nanai Takahashi lost. That's the only, and she didn't even lose the right way. She lost out of a fucking count out. Oh my god, this match fucking blowed. When you have and honestly, I don't know if it was like that bad in a vacuum, but when you have a show with so many good matches and it just fucking sucks like this, you're gonna know. And I look at Cage Match because I'm like, how did people think of this? It has like a 5 rating. 5 rating for this match? A match where Nanai Takahashi literally pulls her fucking classic thing where she's not going to lose to young talent because she's a fucking terrible person and she's one of the bad people in Japanese wrestling. Oh my god, this sucked. This was my least favorite match I've seen this year on a major show outside of shitter, like Dark Elevation. But I mean, Jesus Christ. They're probably not going to hate this match as much as me, but oh my god, this match sucked. Dud. D-U-D, dud.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it was pretty enjoyable in points. But at the same time, for the tag team championship match on the biggest show in company history, because there's been some really good tag teams, namely Maihime, right? In company history, nah. This was not what I wanted. The Nanai, okay. I am generally pro Nanai Takahashi. I think she is a spectacularly entertaining and physical wrestler when she really wants to be, right? I think she also, when she turns on her motor, I think she works harder than pretty much anybody else and does more to get matches over than anybody else. This was not that night for her. She did she did the thing that you notice if you actually pay attention to Nanai Takahashi matches a lot, where if you're young, if you're not an established, a super locked in established star, right? Which I wouldn't say Mirai or Ami Sourei are at this point. Also, Mirai is super young. She's in her early 20s too, so that has something to do with it too. She's not going to do shit for you. She's just not. I think back to the previous example of this was, if you guys recall, this is Joshi minutiae, but when Momo Watanabe and Saya Ida went to Seedling for a match in 2021, and I think they wrestled Nanai and maybe Arisa Nakajima, someone like that. But anyway, the entire match was Ida and Momo hitting moves on Nanai, and then her just no selling them. Not even a fire up no sell like Ishii does, where he's like, oh, I have to do it. She just stands up and just goes back to wrestling. It sucks. It's not entertaining to me. I don't get it. Murph says it was a dud. Like I said, I don't think it was that bad. I thought Ami Sourei, big surprise. I thought she was really good. I thought her interactions with you were great. She has the best chops in Stardom. And I love that they've leaned into that, by the way. Sourei had new gear that I think is so much more big league than her previous gear. I think her new look is excellent. And I thought Mirai was pretty good here too. She's just kind of fucking Mirai. for me. Like, I don't know, but she was fine. She did the high fly flow to the outside. That was fun. And that was that. But then, yeah, by count out, they do it at the end. It was kind of incompetent. Like, fucking Tom Lawler and Brian were making fun of the refereeing on their show today for this match. But yeah, I thought this was who said it earlier? Somebody said this was the weak link of the night. The weak link of the night. Yeah, I think it was Laz who said that. Yeah, and completely agree. The weak link of the night.
Yeah, I'm probably going along a similar line as you, Parker. I didn't think it was as bad as as Murph made it out to be. It was my least favorite match on the show, without a doubt. It was definitely the weak link. But I enjoyed the work like in the middle of the match. But that finish, man.
It's just I convinced myself. You know what? Maybe Nanai will be good here. Maybe she'll take a clean pin, like she did it for Waka. Maybe we'll get something good here. And I sit down, and what's it? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different. I sit down, I turn on this match. I'm like, please, Nanai, just take a pin. And she fucking gets a count out. Like, just fuck out of here. Like, it's just not. Like,
I mean, I've enjoyed Nanai's most recent run with Stardom. I think I mentioned this last week. She's given a lot of wrestlers down the lower end of the card the best match of their career, especially in these like passion injection matches she's been doing on New Blood. But this was like, the criticisms of Nanai with their politics and stuff, they kind of rang true here, and that was
when you have a wrestler like Nanai who won't take pins and do all this shit, and then the best way to use him is to use him like Ultimo Dragon. They're in tags where they don't pin and they don't get pinned, and then they don't touch the titles. She should be nowhere near any title because there's no way Nanai Takahashi is just like a draw. Does Nanai Takahashi draw? If she draws, then I'm like. Because looking at
I think she draws. I mean, Seedling's like about to go out of business without her.
What did Seedling do? Like 250 people? She's drawn 250 people. Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, like they're about to like fold without her, so I think that's like a difference there. Yeah, I mean, I think she does have some popularity. Also, there's an idea of being the one tie-in still wrestling at like a decently high level to the previous eras of Joshi. Mm-hmm. She's like the only one. It's like that's it. And I genuinely think that when she's on, she can be spectacularly good. I thought her interactions with Tsukushi, for example, in Tsukushi's retirement match, like I thought she was in last year's match of the year out of everything.
Yeah,
right?
You love that.
So, and I think I think Murph, if you went back and watched it, I think you'd see like, okay, this is what she can do. All right.
I watched that.
But yeah, no.
We watched it together.
Did we? I don't recall.
Yeah.
But this here, no. And also like the idea, of course, of having some like legend, right? Like Nanai is that somebody beats her. And I guess maybe she's like, we already did that with Waka. So if Waka beat me, then I'm not going to get beat twice. But it's like, who cares? Yeah, I'm tired of wrestlers politicking. I am like, there's no doubt in my mind that that's what happened, that she just didn't want to get pinned, right? And it doesn't do anything to help Mirai or Ami Sarai. If Mirai pins Nanai Takahashi clean, or even you clean in the middle of the ring, then it's like, okay, they're doing something with her, right? If Ami Sarai does, same thing, but they didn't. So we have new tag team champions, but they don't really feel like tag team champions yet.
Well, I don't think they're going to be tag team champions for too long, because we know their next challenges. It's FWC, and it's in Fukuoka, and I don't know. It feels like they just wanted to get the belts off 7-0. It seems like some of the outsiders are kind of not going to be as prominent moving forward, and that moves us on nicely into the next title match we got with prominence.
I like this comment right here. Now, SWG, I'm aware of you. You're a very big Nanai hater, but I did laugh at this. It's hilarious that anybody can be such a mark that they'd rather put out a shitty match on the biggest show in decades than lose a fake predetermined match.
SWG,
I completely agree.
Ball.
I completely agree. Like when you lose, the people are. I guess there is something to be said about like cultural differences and how like Japanese wrestling fans can view things. Like I've talked to Justin Nipper, who's a big part of Pro Wrestling Noah's Western outreach, right? He lives in Japan. He knows a lot about customs and everything like that. And he was very adamant that the reason that they had Kaito Kiyomiya pin Kazuyuki Fujita in that way when that was like so controversial last year was because the crowd would have like turned on Kaito if if they had him, you know, beat him with his move, right? Because they would have been like, it's such bullshit, it's so fake. And that's kind of, I think that's the idea for Nanai. But at the same time, no, from our perspective, from what we like out of wrestling, it's absolutely preposterous.
And here's the thing. Final
Oh
thing
God.
on this match.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, Murph. What the fuck are you talking about?
What?
Like, you have to. That it would be one thing if Nanai Takahashi drew to the level and was a star and was as good as Kyrie. What?
That's like me saying like Elias is like, oh, Elias doesn't put people over, and like Kenny Omega.
Yeah, If like Omos goes on like a 3-month winning streak, and they're like, Omos doesn't put over as many people as John Cena does.
Like, fuck off. Like,
what are you talking about? I don't understand what you're saying. Okay. Anyway.
What's the last thing? If
go
you're
ahead.
gonna politic like Nene did, win. At least win the goddamn match. They lost by count out. Like, if you're gonna politic that way, at least win. Like, they literally politics for a count out finish. Like,
win and relinquish the titles. That's funny. Anyway, I'm very glad that Ami Sourei. I'm still like, it's weird because she's the future champion, but she's in a lot of people's eyes very similar to Mirai, right? And and she's very clearly below her in standing. So I'm always like, are they going to, you know? And she's only been with the company for like a year, literally, right? But it's like, I wonder if they'll ever actually do anything with her, because I'm a big fan. Because right now it's like, you know, I'm a big Saida fan. They're not going to do shit with Saida. Sorry, Saida, but it's not happening. Okay, let's move on. Everything from here on out, in my opinion, was spectacular. This was the Artists of Stardom title match. We had Prominence, Risa Sera, Suzu Suzuki, and Hiragi Kurumi losing the titles to this incredible team, like such an awesome team of Kairi, Natsupoi, and Sori Ano, the latter making her Stardom return here, right? Great trios title match. I think one of the best matches in artist history. And I thought everybody stood out, but especially Sori Ano. I thought she was just excellent.
So good.
Here. She got the pin over Suzu, I think, right? She did the German. Suzu kicks out. It's interesting. Both Suzu and Ano used the German as their finish. So that was it. By the way, they had an incredible closing stretch against each other, just going back and forth, right? And then she does the bridging pin where she essentially does like an O'Connor roll, like bridge out, and then she also like back flips over and pins her opponent's legs with her own legs and locks it in. It was perfectly done. I was like blown away. It was great. She does not bust that out that often. Just a great team, great champs. I love Kairi as artist champion because it's less aimless than I think she's been. And just a huge fan of this match. Jamie, what'd you think? Well, let's start. I'm going to start with Murph because Murph loves Kyrie and loves Natsupoi.
This was my favorite match on the show. It was the second best to me. I thought it was second best because my main event was on another level. But oh my god, I love this match so much. This is like Kyrie's just on another level. Like, she is just like so far ahead of every Joshi wrestler to me. Like, it's just like it's like not even close. She's like Kenny Omega in like American wrestling. Like, she's just like so far ahead of everyone else. It's like, why do people even try? Kyrie's so good. Suzu Suzuki, I'm happy that she's joining Stardom full time, so she's not doing like dumb shit anymore. Because she's just tremendous. Saria Nu, very, very good. Natsupoi, my favorite wrestler outside of Kairi in Stardom. Hiragi Kurumi I thought was nothing special. Risa Sera is very good. But this match was tremendous. I really, really enjoyed it. My favorite match on the show. I love like a very good 6 trios match. That's wrestling for me. It's like a very, very put together, well done trios match. And this was my favorite match on the show.
I love this match. This is excellent. I think we've talked about Sori Ano being one of like the best freelancers out there on the market. alongside probably like Maya Yukihi and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So for anyone who is like unfamiliar with her going into this match,
Oh
like,
my
this is like
gosh, what an
it's like the
introduction!
perfect first performance to see from her. Like you get it instantly.
Mhm.
One of my friends, Lewis of the Rest Purist writing team,
Mhm.
he's slowly getting into Stardom. You know, he's only just kind of like getting into it. Cosmic
Love
Angels are
Lewis.
his
He's a
favorite
sweetheart.
faction. He's great. Cosmic Angels are his favorite faction, but he was kind of a bit heartbroken with the two departures we just had. But I was telling him, man, but this is a net positive. And he was like, "Oh, I don't know until we see it." And now he's back on board. he's a big fan of this one. Natsupoi as well. Glad she's got a belt because I think she's been excellent since moving
Mhm.
over to Cosmic Angels. And then, like you said, with Kyrie, it's good to see her finally back with a belt. And I hope this means she's around maybe a little bit more. But the artist belts aren't big. You know, they don't have to be on like every single pay per view card, so you can kind of keep it, to a similar schedule. And yeah, Prominence as well. I've really enjoyed their reign.
Mhm.
Seems like Suzuki is she's done with Prominence. I would assume she's signing. She's on every Golden Week show for Stardom, a bit like May Sarah. So it seems like she's
Which is
she's signing
interesting
on that.
because like it's
Mhm.
not the whole of Prominence is, are they?
Mhm.
Right. So it's like, so
No.
is she gonna like join a stable? Like, what's the deal here? Like, it's
Well,
I think is fun.
yeah, well, I was trying to think. I was speaking to Scott of Fightful and Respirus as well yesterday. We were talking about Suzuki, where she kind of fit in, and I think aesthetically we decided she fits in DDM, but there's obviously the thing with Julia,
Mhm.
and it's kind of, so I'll be interested to see how they play that out. But I think she's like she could be top like red belt champion level. So
Yeah.
we'll see how they like kind of slot her in to that roster if she's there full time, which I think she is.
I could see a stable. I could see like Oedo Tai or something.
Mhm.
Like I could see like something like them disbanding or splitting or something. It feels like it's been a really long time since we've had a stable disbandment in Stardom, and it wouldn't surprise me if we saw, like, it's been a really long time, like
Mhm.
since Tokyo Cyber Squad, I think, which is 3 years now. Um, has there been another one? I don't think so.
No, I think that's the most. And then before that would have been like Jungle Assault Nation, maybe.
Yeah, Jungle Assault Nation. Yeah, and so that's how. I mean, that should tell you how long it's been. Obviously, the roster has grown too, but it would not surprise me. Like, I think Queen's Quest is kind of stale, and it wouldn't surprise me if they, and they just don't really do it. They're just like wrestlers, right? They don't really have a
Mhm.
gimmick to them anymore. It wouldn't surprise me if they did something like that. I would be interested in seeing Suzu be the leader of a stable. I think she's that level of talent.
To to talk
Yeah.
about what I saw that one comment that said Saori is like a Ballon d'Or level talent. I wouldn't go that far, but like if I had to give like a footballer comparison, I would say Leandro Trossard for Arsenal, because I think they've always been good and they were building up on like a lower level, and now they're like a little older than like most of the people that getting these big moves, but they're in their prime and they're finally on like a big stage. So Saurianu is the Trossard of wrestling.
That's an
We're gonna win the
analogy and a
league.
half.
We're gonna win the league
Yeah.
this year. What was I gonna say here? Oh, there was also this comment. I've seen a little bit of buzz about this. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Chance Suzu becomes the first GHC Women's Championship. I don't see this at all. Like, I don't understand the like speculation around this. First of all, there's like no guarantee that there's going to be a GHC Women's Championship. They're just like they're sort of testing the waters a little bit. I know that there are indie people. There's like, hey, you guys, I actually have some sources on this, but there are like indie people on Joshi Indies who are pushing for a GHC Women's Championship, mostly for self-interested reasons, right? Because they want to be on a higher platform. And the people who are really pushing for it, from what I can tell, are not like high level like draws or wrestlers or anything like that. Like, think like Pure J Mid Carter. Okay, that's kind of what we're.
Oh,
That's
I
kind
know
of what we're looking
I know
at
who you're
here.
talking about.
So that's kind of that. Okay. Yeah. So we'll see about that. That was a great match. The next match on the show was for the Wonder of Stardom Championship. After 500 days, Saya Kamitani's reign is finally over. She had already defeated Mina once. She did not defeat Mina Shirakawa a second time. Mina wins the Wonder of Stardom Championship in 18 minutes in what I thought was an incredible match. I'll get into it a little bit later because I've been talking a lot, but in short, this match was better than I ever thought that I would see a Mina Shirakawa match be. Jamie, take it away.
Yeah, this this is my second favorite match on the whole show, besides the main event, which we'll get to. But like, totally agree. Mina Shirakawa is someone who's like improved tremendously. I think the 5-star last year was where it really kind of like sort of, put it all together. She started like working the leg, doing dragon screws and figure fours. And then obviously she had the first challenge last year, which obviously ended the way it did. But I thought it was a really, really great showing for Mina. This was like, anyway, yeah. But this was like a whole nother level. She busted out like crazy moves that I didn't know she had in her locker. That like she had her on her shoulders, the elevated dragon screw. I was like,
oh, it was great. It was so good.
That was crazy.
It's like so unnecessary.
Yeah. I just like I had doubts when they kind of like when they were going in the direction of Mina was going to be the next champion. We've just had this whole long reign, and then we talked about it before. There's so many people in this division that kind of like could win that white belt. The Mikas and Nats Boys, Starlight Kids, even some of the newer ones now, Sorianos and stuff like that.
Right.
And I was kind of like, is Mina the best one we're going for? She like eliminated all my doubts here. If she's going to have matches of this quality and this is the level she can deliver on, then I'm with it, and I'm looking forward to seeing where we go with it. Saya's reign is kind of like, it kind of ran a bit dry towards its end, but I think she's gone out with an incredible match, and I loved it.
I think this match was like an instant classic. I thought this match was incredible, and specifically, I mean, the work was great. I mean, so first of all, this is one of those things that these two wrestlers have insane chemistry together. Like, look at Mina Shirakawa's cage match page, go to her matches and sort by like highest rating. Literally, like the top 5 matches are Saya Kamitani. It's like this is Mina's opponent that she has great matches with. When I talk about storytelling, right? I think there's like storytelling that is good on paper. Then I think there is storytelling that actually makes you feel something when you watch it. Okay. Mm-hmm. TJPW is storytelling on paper. All right. You wait a long time and then eventually maybe you get that belt. All right. And on paper, it's like, that's a great story. A long chase. Mizuki failed a lot and then she finally got it. That's great. In practice, I felt nothing when she won the pop title at the main event of their show earlier this year. In Stardom, in this match here, the storytelling here was off the charts. Saya Kamitani is just so great at it, at bringing up that emotion. She has just the best facial expressions. She genuinely looks like she's thinking and considering about what she's doing next. And even though she's had a 500-day reign as champion, she still has that little bit of like work to do, where I think it almost accentuates her when she's really being considerate about what she needs to do next in her movement. She's kind of gangly and lanky, and it's just like she's not like built, tightly built like a Himeka or an Azumi or something like that. And I think it complements her facial expressions perfectly. And the intra-match story here, coupled with the story coming into it, which is, of course, the history. Saya Kamitani broke Mina Shirakawa's face in their previous title match. Mina comes out and cuts the best Stardom promo maybe ever. And then they come back here. And the story is Saya has lost her confidence about the Firebird splash, right? Mm-hmm. And she's just not sure about it. On the contrary, meanwhile, like we talked about last week, Mina has locked in since coming back. She's got a new stable. She's got people who believe in her. She's winning all of her matches, right? She's coached Waka Tsukiyama to being a person who wins in Stardom, right? You see that difference there. And I thought it made for such a great dynamic with Mina was just locked in and Saya was not. And it's just so simple. And they wrestled it beautifully. The hesitation on the Firebird splash, Saya climbs up about halfway through the match. She heads back down. She can't do it. Later on, by the way, Mina's dismantling her leg this entire time. She goes back up, tries it again. She hits it, and then Mina kicks out because it really wasn't about the Firebird splash. Like, that move is able to be kicked out of, right? It's whether you can actually beat this person and do what you
She
need
kicked
to
out
beat
of it
them.
in the last challenge, even though she had like
exactly.
she had like 3 teeth.
Right. Exactly.
She
And so the focus on that, I think, is so genius because it's like, when you actually think about it, the Firebird splash isn't always what wins Saya her matches, especially her big matches. And so I thought that was fantastic too. Mina was just perfect. Like, just inconceivably good for me. There was a while when I genuinely thought she was like the worst wrestler in Stardom, and now she's put on one of the 3 best Stardom matches of the year, in my opinion. And I love seeing that. I love seeing that
very,
because
very good
I love seeing wrestlers improve and get over organically and get popular. And it stinks that she had to go through that injury, which I'm sure sucked, but she has come back and it has helped her career for the better. I don't think Club Venus would exist if that hadn't happened. I don't think she would be white belt champ right now if that hadn't happened. And yeah, I'm glad. I have a sneaking suspicion this reign will not be very long, but at the same time, I think that's okay. Yeah, I don't think this is the type of reign where you need it to be super long.
Yeah,
Murph, what do you think? Oh, sorry, Jamie.
She's been just that she's been elevated to a level like so way beyond what anyone thought she could have been. That even if her reign isn't that long, like she's there now. You know, go on, Murph.
I really enjoyed this match. I thought it was really enjoyable. I think Saya is one of the best wrestlers in the world, no matter of gender, company, anything. I think she's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I think she's so young that she's just going to improve and improve. And at some point, she's going to be at the top in the industry, literally. Like, I think she's the kind of person, don't hate me for this. I think she's the type of person that, WWE throws a lot of money at eventually one day. So I really think the world of Saya. Mina, I think the jury's still out for me personally. I think she's shown flashes and she's starting to get good, but I don't know if she's good enough to be a white belt champion. And I think that this match has definitely looked good, and I think the jury's out on that. I'm gonna do another footballer comparison because I really enjoy doing this. Saya, I would say, is like Rafael Leao. Flashy, young. I think really good at what they do. And for Mina, this is a weird one. For Mina, I would do Jesus Ferreira because she tore it up against some shit competition. But I don't think they put it all together yet. So there's my 2 comparisons for Mina and Saya.
Cool, dude.
That's my new gimmick.
All right. Yes, I think this match was great. And yeah, like I said, I'm completely fine if this ends up being a short reign. I just haven't seen this Mina against anybody other than Saya Kamitani. You know what I mean? It was the 5-star match that was getting people like, oh wow, that was actually a really good match between them. And then of course there's the match in late last year, right, between those two, and then this one here. So I have to see it against somebody who's not Saya Kamitani. But I mean, yeah. Who's up next?
It's Natspoi for the white belt. That was something that was decided during the Cinderella. Obviously, they drew double elimination, so that's on that Fukuoka card, which is early May. I think it's like the 4th or the 6th, something like that.
That's a terrible position for Mina because I just want Natsupoi to win that.
It stinks because it's like she put on such a great performance, but again, any of those people on that level, I'm like, pull the trigger. Let's change that title.
The kind of person that I'm okay with having like a month reign because I feel like the journey's better than a destination there.
I would love for it to be Micah. Like that is who I would do. Yeah.
I believe that match will be main event in that pay-per-view because I don't think there's a red belt match. Tam's in a tag low down the card.
Okay. Sweet. That'll be good. That should be really good. And it's a big test for Mina's first ever singles main event in for a title in Stardom. Okay. Still 3 more matches, and we've already talked for 50 minutes on this show. Knockout or submission only. Special singles match. Shuri defeated Chihiro Hashimoto with the buzzsaw kick. Knocked her out. Then she got back up, but didn't make it all the way by the 10 count. Shuri won clean over Big Hash here. I just thought it was a great match. Like I don't have a lot to say about it because it was 16 minutes, so it wasn't like super long, and I thought the action was great and hard hitting. It felt like a 5-star match to me, 5-star GP match. But a little bit next level beyond that. It's weird. There's like nothing I would change about this match, and yet I think I definitely liked the 2 top belt matches better than this. So like the Wonder and the World match is better than this one. It was just great for what it was. Chihiro Hashimoto, by the way, like, dude, she wrestled with such like a focus and intent to what she's doing, where she's so decisive in her movements, and it obviously comes from being a fantastic amateur wrestler. But I mean, these two were just great, and there was a shoot headbutt to the back of the head unprotected, so that had some stuff there too.
Yeah, I thought this was just another, top quality match. I said this, I think I said this last week. There was like so many incredible matches on paper on this show that like a ton of them could have main evented their own card. This is one that probably could have like main evented them.
Easily could have been a world title match last year.
Yeah, and maybe it benefited from having that like increased focus, but there was just like so much going on in this show. But like you said, everything in this match was like really great. Obviously, I wasn't the biggest fan when they announced the stipulation because I just wanted to see them like wrestle like a normal match. And then I thought about it, and I was like, if you had to pick 2 wrestlers to wrestle in this kind of like style knockout submission kind of match, I don't think you could have picked 2 better Joshi wrestlers than Shuri and Chihiro Hashimoto. Sure. And they proved me right there. They absolutely delivered. And yeah, after the match, obviously Shuri gets the win. She challenges Hashimoto to keep coming back to Stardom. So it seems like that's not over, which is great because I've enjoyed all of her matches so far, and I hope we get to see her against a few more with the Stardom wrestlers. And Sendai girls tweeted out just like they were livid. So yeah, they got owned.
It was really funny. Just tweeted the ... That was great.
like as if like they didn't know the result.
Yeah, they're like, damn it, God, she beat us.
Let the side down. Yeah. Murph, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was a bit overhyped, and I didn't enjoy it as much. It's probably like the 5th or 6th best match on the show for me. But it was a very good match. I mean, this isn't my favorite style of wrestling, so definitely be a bit lower than most. But it was a good match.
This is one that it started off when I'm a cage match freak, and I check it all the time. And when the show originally got put on, this was like at like a 9.4, and I was like, wow, was it that good? And it's since then it's gone down to like an 8.7, which seems a bit more accurate to me. But like I said, it was great. Like it was great. It's just comparing it just did not reach the emotional heights of the previous match as well as the main event to me. But it's still like, this was still like one of the 10 best Joshi matches all year. Yeah. So that just tells you how good this card has been. Right.
Yeah, and you look at like the rest of the card as well with the big matches. There was a lot more matches with like had that real emotion behind it going into it. This was just a case of like 2 of the best, the best of the best going at it. There wasn't like a crazy storyline or anything. So I kind of get that a bit. Yeah,
this is good. IDEK Suri is fighting Hashimoto in her return match. That match should be fantastic. Oh, yeah. If you've never seen Suri in Japan, like I thought in 2019. She was one of the best wrestlers in Japan. Like she was like maybe the best Joshi wrestler of that year. She was putting on classic after classic. So definitely check
out Suri. I hope she still like changes hair color because of like a necklace. That'd be funny.
Yeah, she should still do the mystical gimmick, but just go by Suri and just wrestle the same. Okay, yeah, another great match. Shuri wins by KO. The IWGP Women's Title match, one of the obviously extremely hyped coming in. Mayu Iwatani taking on, challenging, and eventually defeating Mercedes Mone for that IWGP Women's title. Just one successful defense for Mone. And well, I don't know if they were short on time or something. Maybe it was that, but from the opening bell, I mean, they're just going at it, going after each other. This was the most focused I've seen Mayu in a really long time. Just really physical with those kicks. Obviously, there's the viral image of Mercedes with the laceration on her head and the hematoma there. But Mayu's going crazy. She's hitting all these suplexes, dropping Mercedes on her head, super violent back and forth. And towards the end, it was Mayu getting the win clean to win the IWGP Women's Championship. The top 3 titles, in Stardom or sort of tangential to Stardom, all changed hands here, which I thought was very interesting as well on this show, which I thought was interesting as well. But this was not the instant classic that a lot of people expected. It didn't have the time for it, but I thought with what they did, it was like as good as it could have been. Jamie, what'd you think?
Yeah, pretty much agreed. I think this was a lot of people's predicted match of the night going in.
Mm-hmm.
I was always kind of on the side of the main event, and I was.
You called it, dude.
I'm the best at predictions, man. We've proved this on the show.
I knew that Mina was gonna beat Saya. I said that, and you were like,
yeah, you did.
Sure.
You were more confident on Mariah threw a spanner in the works for me.
That's right. She always does.
Yeah, but no, I thought it was really good. It was another case of like, obviously not as extreme the time constraints as like the Kyrie versus Tam Wrestle Kingdom match, but in a similar vein, like with the time they were given, they did as much as they could have got in that time period, right? There's room for another match or two between them, and I think we will get it. They've kind of teased that this will be the last time we see Mayu Iwatani versus Mercedes Mone. But yeah, happy with the title change. Glad to see Mayu with some top gold again. And yeah, just really good. And I think one day we will get that rematch with a bit more time. Hopefully, like the main event of its own show, whatever. But yeah, just good stuff for what it was.
Murph Burner.
This match was tremendous. It was awesome, but I can't help but feel underwhelmed because I was expecting a 27-minute build to the finish classic, and I didn't get that. And it's like if you're going to a restaurant, you want like a prime fillet, but they give you like a nice hearty cheeseburger instead. You still love that cheeseburger, but it's not like that prime fillet you want. And that's how it was. I don't know what Mercedes is cooking. Apparently, she doesn't have extension. Dave said she has an extension. All I know is that I'm right, and she'll be on SummerSlam. But Mercedes is tremendous, and enjoy it. But I really wish that it was what I expected. That's my only gripe with the match. Like in a vacuum, you watch this match, great match. But when you have the hype and everything going into this match, you can't help but feel like you're a little cheated. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, I thought it was the 4th best match on the show, which I thought was kind of it's inconceivable to me that Mina Shirakawa had a better match than this, but she did.
Yeah, it kind of stood out a lot to me when we did the Wrestle Purist match ratings, the post that went out today, and I think like the kind of top 5, the featured matches that we put out were all from this Stardom show, and I don't believe the Mercedes Mayu match made that cut. Which if you told me that before the show, I'd been like, no way, that would be like top 1 or 2. So it was pretty crazy.
It's like I'm just a bit annoyed at it, but the main event made up for me.
So after the match, Sasha did say she's going to be at New Japan and she's going to be in Los Angeles at Resurgence. So we'll see who she wrestles there. Obviously, no title, so there's lots of things they can do there. They could do a mixed tag, they could do a singles match, they could do something outside the box, whatever they kind of want to do.
If I had the pen, I'm doing Mercedes Mone.
If you say Britt Baker, it's over for you.
What?
I thought you were going to say versus Britt Baker.
Oh, dude, because they wouldn't let Mercedes lose to Britt, so I couldn't do that. You do Mercedes and Okada versus what was the team? Zack Sabre Jr. and who did Zack Sabre Jr. team with?
Julia.
Zack Sabre Julia.
And you have, but you see who takes a pin in that match? That's just
nobody.
Fantasy.
It couldn't be Zack because he's the champ.
Julia could take the pin because she's like not a champion. But
they
also
could do. You know what they could do is they could do like Mercedes and Suzuki against like Ishii and some girl, right? Something like that, like Micah or
Saya
something
Ida.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She'd be like Micah.
Honestly, Saya Ida would be the best for that match.
Saida. I would love to see Mercedes versus Saida.
Saya
But
Ida is like the Ishii, like she like just a hard-headed brawl
yeah,
bruiser.
yeah. I love Saida. She will never do anything though. They're not interested in her. She's a jobber, which
Main
is too
event time.
bad. They need to put me. Murph's trying to get through this show. Murph's trying to rush me right now.
I'm ready for. I want to do some New Japan talk. I'm dying for it.
He's fiending for it. Well, it's Stardom Day, so bear with it. Our main event for the World of Stardom Championship was Julia defending against Tam Nakano. And in what I would say is a bit of an upset, for the first time in her career, Tam Nakano is World of Stardom champion. She has won the title, and wow. I want to be the closer on this match. I'll let you guys talk about it first. Murph, you thought this was the best match on the show.
Yeah.
Go through it. Talk about it.
It's a classic. I loved the Tam and Julia at the last fucking in Budokan, right?
Budokan, yep.
Yeah, the hair versus hair. That was my favorite match in Stardom history before that. I love that match more because I love like hair. I love step.
Yeah,
matches,
you and I are aligned on that. We love the hair versus
this
hair.
match was better because it was the main event for the world title. There was just a little bit something to this match. This match, I loved it. Tam Nakano is not my favorite wrestler. I'm not a big fan of Tam Nakano, but she had to finish the story here. It was just like you had to do it, and I'm happy they pulled the trigger because sometimes in wrestling, as we saw at Elimination Chamber, sometimes you have a natural story and they choose just not to pull the trigger because of like plans ahead. And I don't know if they had plans for Julia ahead of this because I really don't know. But there's times in wrestling where you have one chance and you have to do it, and they didn't do it with Wakatsuki Hama. It was stupid, but they did it with Tam Nakano, and I'm very, very happy with it.
I love this match. It's not a surprise that I absolutely love this show. And going into this match, I expected a Julia win, and I expected the match to be incredible quality, like the cherry on top of a really great show. Tam winning was like a whole nother layer of cake, right? It's just like because I didn't think it was like 0%. We talked about it was maybe possible, but I thought it was like 90-10, like Julia.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't see it coming. It was as violent as I thought it'd be. It was like for the story, I thought it was amazing. That table spot. There's always a table spot in these Julia matches.
Yeah. Oh, the table spot was great.
It's always a super hard hitting. And yeah, man, Tam winning, big babyface win to close out Stardom's biggest show in history. And like I've talked about before as well, it completely eliminates the possible repetition of that 5-star kind of like, because if we were going down the similar route of like Julia and Shuri's title win, Tam would have lost here. Tam would have won the 5-star, and she'd have won a Dream Queendom in December. And like that's fine, but we've kind of done it the last few times. So now the Tam's champion, that's like that 5-star can be wide open, right? So that was perfect. I loved it.
I think this is one of the handful of best matches in company history. I think this match was this was 5 stars. That it was an incredible match between these two. Again, I thought, kind of like you alluded to, we've talked on the show in previous weeks about inspired booking, right? About the difference between making like the correct decision and the decision that's like, okay, that's really cool. That makes the fans happy. That gets people excited and makes subsequent big matches like this more entertaining. And I think there was like no more inspired booking choice on this show than having Tam Nakano win the world title. There were a lot of people, kind of like you talked about, that thought that Tam was going to be the one to end Julia's reign. I did not think that. I never thought that Tam Nakano was going to win this world title. She's been so close for so long, and I just never thought they were going to have her do that. There's been a conversation. I saw a couple of people mention it in the chat. I don't buy that Tam is planning to retire. She's talked about it for years, and like, I don't know. I feel like if she was planning to retire, you don't make her your world champion, right?
Yeah.
It's like, unless you're trying to squeeze that out of her before she retires, that just doesn't, like, I don't know. I don't feel like that's the case. So I don't see that. I mean, of course she could retire, but I don't think that currently in the cards in the next like year or so is her retiring. That could always change, of course, and it's Joshi where people retire all the time. But the physicality on this match was just another level. Like the physicality. Okay, the 2021 match has what I think is the best slap fight in wrestling history, and the most, like, one of the most violent. This match was more violent than the one from 2 years ago. There were more headbutts. There were more ways that they attacked each other. They're like punching each other, like in the face. Like they're like, I'm like, are your hands okay? Like, how are you doing this? It was just so incredible. And then I went in unspoiled. I was so happy that I was able to watch this unspoiled, because I was just loving the match. I'm like, oh my God, these guys are the best. And it reminded me of Tam versus Saya from the Sumo Hall show last year, where it was a match that's like, all right, they have a story and the match is just great, but it's like, you know how this one's ending. Tam's not winning that title back, right? It felt like the same thing here. I did not think Tam was winning this title, and then when she did, I was like, oh my God, because she has been one of my favorite wrestlers in the company for such a long time, and I genuinely never thought that they were going to do it for her. And so that is that's that. This is great. It's one of my matches of the year, and I'm stoked that she's the champion. Again, this is another example of one where I'm like, it's okay if there's a shorter reign here, and I was okay. I don't think it cuts the legs out from Julia at all. She lost to her biggest rival, and she beat some really tough competition to get there. So
yeah. And I'm also just looking at, like, possible next champions. I wouldn't rule out Julia getting that belt back, right, off Tam. I don't think it's the last time we're getting Julia as Red Belt champion. I think with the story of these two, it wouldn't shock me if she just takes it back from her, like, later down the line. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to, like, a Tam Nakano reign. We've got the first taste of what's next for her. I don't know if you saw the New Blood 8 main event announcements.
I did. What a wacky match. They've got Ice Ribbon's version of Tam.
The Tam version. And
I don't know about that. Yeah. She's like not that good of a wrestler, but we'll see. Tam Nakano can carry pretty much anybody, but just great. I mean, these are two, like, when you're talking about wrestlers who work really hard to get matches over and make them exciting and make them enjoyable and make them stand out, Julia and Tam are like two of the first you mentioned. I think of Saya in there as well. I would put Saya in that category too, out of a lot of the wrestlers that we've talked about thus far. But finally, to put a little bow on Julia's reign here, for some reason, she has just yet to lock into people's perception of being like the best wrestler in the world. And if I was picking, like, on an objective sense, there are wrestlers I like better than Julia. Not many, but there are. But I think if you were to average out who's the most reliable in a big match setting, which I think is a lot of people's estimation of like best wrestler in the world, it'd be Julia. She just kills it every single time. Her matches always get over. They're always hard hitting. They're always violent. They're always emotional. And she's just the best. I've been so impressed with her growth. I never thought she would get to this level when I saw her in Ice Ribbon. I saw her as like she could contend for world titles. She could be an upper mid-carder. I never thought she'd be the best women's wrestler in the world, but I do think she is now. All right, couple super chats here. $9.99 from Heart Editing. I think Tam Nakano has surpassed needing Stardom. Nice. She should go to Impact, where she can make a difference, helping young talents like Jody Threat and putting stars like Mickey James over. Okay.
Thanks for the
$5 super chat from thank you. $5 super chat from Lamora. I'm happy that Rossi broke the streak of year-long red belt reigns. I think it goes a long way in giving more attention to red belt defenses. Completely agree here, right? We've talked about how Stardom is the most conservatively booked promotion in Japan. And you have to add that excitement, that freshness, that idea that any title can change hands at any time to really get people into some of those more middling defenses. And they did that here. All 3 top titles changed on the same night, which is saying something. So I really enjoyed them changing those titles here.
Yeah, I believe
Okay.
every title changed hands on this. There was up for grabs on the show, so kind of like a total reset for the majority of it. So yeah, exciting times.
All right, fellas, that's the show. I think this is the best show in Stardom history. I can't think of anything better. The previous best show I thought was the previous the Budokan show main evented by Tam and Julia, and I think this show has 2 more classics than that show had, and has a better main event than that show had.
I'd have to go to that show by a hair.
Let's see, that show, because that show had it had the Saya Utami match, which I would put on the level of like Hashimoto Shuri or the trios title match here. It also had Yoshiko Mayu, which I would put on again similar to that level too, but not as good as the Mina Saya match.
Where is Yoshiko?
She's screwing around. She's just
why did they have to get Nanai and not Yoshiko? Because Yoshiko's actually like good. That's my question.
I'm gonna take you back to August 2012 at Korakuen Hall.
Oh, dude, don't do this.
But
Yoshiko showed up to face Mayu.
I know. I'm joking. It's a joke.
The ghastly incident.
The ghastly incident. The ghastly match.
I still think
the match so dark that they only talk in hushed whispers about it.
It's like what they stabbing Kagetsu is worse. Personally,
they burned the footage after the match happened because it was so ghastly.
I think the stabbing was worse.
Yeah, that did happen, by the way, objectively.
Yappy was wrong.
Yeah, Yappy's. I'm a Tsukushi truther. All right. We're going to briefly, because Murph really, really wants to, talk about New Japan. And they got a big show this weekend. We will talk about our next show is the night before Dontaku, so we'll get super in-depth into Dontaku on that show. But tonight we're talking about wrestling Satsuma no Kuni. And we also have the Road to Wrestling Dontaku this Thursday, which has a couple title matches on it too. So we have a couple bigger shows for New Japan heading into Dontaku. So this Thursday, first of all, I just want to shout out this crazy match, Tetsuya Naito versus Doki in a singles match. It's like, all right, what's going to happen here? Then 2 title matches, both juniors. IWGP Junior Tag titles, TJP and Francesco Akira taking on Kushida and Kevin Knight. Should be great.
Title change, hopefully.
I don't see it. I don't think Kevin Knight's going to be a champ.
I just need Kushida to do something.
Something. Kushida, he's got it. Well, they're announcing Best of the Super Juniors.
I want to talk about that too.
And so I think, that's why you want to talk about it, you geek. So we'll talk about that after we go through these matches, okay? But yeah, I think Kushida's on the show challenging for a title. He's got to be in Best of Super Juniors, right? And then the main event of that show is Hiromu defending the junior title against Yoshinobu Kanemaru, which I'm really looking forward to after, Kanemaru's been so good since Just 5 Guys.
Turn back the clock.
Yeah, it's going to be
There's something in that highball. Something.
Yeah. Hiromu's had a great reign so far this year, so big fan of that. Then on Satsuma no Kuni, 2 more title matches. Aussie Open will have their first defense of the titles. This is only for the IWGP heavyweight titles. This is not for the strong titles. They are taking on Shane Haste and Mikey Dick.
A lot of Aussies.
Yeah, there's a lot there. There is a lot of Aussies in this match for the titles, right? For the titles. So it's gonna be them against TMDK, Mikey Nichols, and Shane Haste, which should be pretty good. Like TMDK's a good team. They just haven't had a lot of opportunities, I don't think. But no, there won't be a title.
The last major match they were in was that NXT Takeover match where they had Paul Ellering in a toy set. Remember they had Paul Ellering dangling over the ring with a giant claw.
They do. The TM61.
Yeah, versus FTR.
TM61. That's like a Pokemon item. Shingo Takagi defends the King of Pro Wrestling title against Taichi in the main event. Have you guys seen? Have they announced the rule set for this? Are they gonna, or is it just gonna be a match?
It's Takagi style triad match, which I don't know what that is.
Okay, all right. So it's what they did with Hinare, but it'll be like Takagi specialized. This match should be fucking fantastic. Shingo's on another level.
So there's 5 ways to win: pinfall, submission, stoppage, knockout, and count out. You have to win by 3 of those ways to win.
Yeah. So that checks out. That's fine by me. It might go like 35 minutes, but
how did Shingo save this gimmick thing?
Because it's Shingo Takagi. It's that Oware gate.
It's literally, oh my god, Parker! It is the Oware gate.
That's what I'm saying. He's got that legacy in there, so it's gonna be. He got a 5+ star match out of Aaron Hinare. Like, Shingo's
judging by that, this should be like 6.
Yeah, this is probably going to be the best match of all time. Now that I think about it, if you go by that scale. Okay, so let's talk about Best of the Super Juniors a little bit. Murph is extremely excited about the prospect of 1 or 2 wrestlers joining the field this year.
Out of Dragon Gate, this is not a guarantee, of course, but on Jay's interview with Open Voice Gate, Jay believes in Dragon Gate.
Jay is Dragon Gate's like commentator and English
commentator, English liaison. Dragon Gate is of the belief that Eita is in the Best of the Super Juniors. I don't know if that's gonna be true, but just that's the word in Dragon Gate right now, is that Eita will be finishing up in Noah with this Ogawa, with whatever the blowout for the Ogawa, and he will become a New Japan wrestler starting with the Best of Super Juniors, which sounds awesome to me. Again, this is just a rumor, but Eita in Best of Super Juniors is a possibility. So I would really love that. That's like insane to me, because Eita's, even though he's like a youthful guy, he's like 33 years old. So like that clock is starting to tick. So I mean, Eita in the Best of Super Juniors is an A+ for me, if that happens.
Eita, if you haven't seen him, he's former Dreamgate champion, like former top champ in Dragon Gate. Of course, that's where he was trained, where he developed and all that type of stuff. He's spending a lot of time in Noah recently, Pro Wrestling Noah, but still a freelancer. And he did just drop those tag titles to the good-looking guys. The best comparison I have, interesting, we just talked about him, was I think he's a lot like young Yoshinobu Kanemaru in how he wrestles.
I see it.
Like I'm thinking like early Noah Kanemaru is what I'm talking about.
I mean, Parito is like what he's going for. I don't know if that really translates.
Yeah, of course. I know that's literally like I'm giving, because I don't think a lot of people watched Paraguayo Jr. out of our viewership. But yeah, so yes. But if you haven't
he's great, and he's in this tournament, please just be excited for it, because he's.
I would be thrilled if Eita was in this tournament. I think we kind of touched on it last week, but guys, just like, who are some people that you want to see?
Soberano Jr.
He's my number one. Is Soberano Jr. out of people I want to see. I would be thrilled. Like, if it's me booking this, I know it's not, but if I'd be like Soberano, Titan, Cavernario, and like Templario can all come over and do Best of the Super Juniors or something like that. And,
I'd love our friend Ninja Mac to be in it. That'd be a big
Ninja Mac being in it would be great. I think there's a lot of people on that All-Star show. I'm thinking of like Musashi or Fujita Junior Hayato. Yep. Who are all contenders there too. Just because they're doing all together with All Japan will be involved. So like Doi would be really cool.
I'm feeling pretty strong about AR Fox. I think that's a name that makes a lot of sense.
Fox would be great. Darius Martin would be great. A lot of American guys. I
see someone saying Shun. Shun will not be in the tournament because he's considered a heavyweight in wrestling, and also there's not going to be any Dragon Gate wrestlers. Eita is now a freelancer, a full freelancer, not like an exclusive like Doi. So Eita is pretty much done with Dragon Gate. So Eita is a different thing.
Daniel Garcia would be cool. I agree.
Would be fun. Darby Allin, no, because he's too important.
Darby Allin is literally going to be like AEW World Champion this year. He will not be in there ever. As cool as it would be, it's just not going to happen.
For me, this like Park said, the CMLL guys are like my main. That's what I'm hoping for. Soberano, like you said, he was super impressive. Fantastic Mania. Templario, I'd love to see him there. And then, like we said before, with Kushida, he's obviously not really been around too much. He's got to be in it, right? I think like if Kushida's not in Best of the Super Juniors, then like
it's like, what's the deal?
not yeah, like not that I give a fuck about Impact, but like why would he not beat Steve Macklin if he's not sticking around? You know what I mean? Like
Fucking Steve Macklin.
Like
Steve Macklin is Impact World Champion.
That's insane.
The Forgotten Son.
Kenny Omega was world champion 2 years ago.
That's true. Christian was champion.
Yes, and now it's fucking Steve Cutler.
Steve Macklin. They should have just put it on. Who should they have put it on? Mike Bailey, probably, right? They should have put it on Mike Bailey. Mike. So that's another one, actually. Mike Bailey, I think, would be really cool.
I bet Bay and Austin are both in there.
I bet at least one of them is. There was somebody else I was just thinking of. I think I'm almost positive that Oku will be in it.
Mike Oku. Dan Maloney.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah, Dan Maloney, the new United Empire guy.
There's
lots of guys.
Slater. He's very good. I like Leon Slater a lot.
I don't know if he's there yet, but there's just a lot of guys they can use for this, and it's really exciting.
I bet Linda's in it.
Yeah, he's not G-Rex champion anymore. So that, I mean, he was last year, but it obviously makes things easier if he's not. There's just a lot of slots they have a lot of good juniors. I do think like I'd be fine if Bushi wasn't in it, right?
I don't think Taguchi's gonna be in it.
See, I like Taguchi and I want him to be in it. So
he's not.
I don't know, but like, so Bushi and Naito are going to All Japan for a match. So I wonder if that's gonna.
They're not gonna have to put a junior in, which is good. Like, young lion in. They're not gonna have to put.
Yes, they're not gonna have to put a young lion. Amakusa would be great.
He's champ though.
No, he's not. Hayata's champ.
No,
Hayata won it from him at the Jake Lee show.
Oh, fuck off.
Sorry to hear that. No.
And yes, Amakusa's very good.
Amakusa would be great. So yeah, there's like tons of great people. Yeah. There's I think it would all be really good. Okay, guys, I think it is that time. It is the time of the week where we go over our beasts of the week in wrestling over the last week. Jamie, kick us off as usual.
Well, this won't be a surprise to anyone that I'm probably going to go with someone from the Stardom show.
Really?
The difficult thing is the difficult thing is picking who from that Stardom show. You know, with that quality. I think I'm going to
Jamie, hold on. I'm going to cut you off right there because I remembered that we have a couple super chats that I want to get to really quickly.
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead, of course.
Mavs fan 84 had a couple thoughts on AW copywriting Wrestle Dream. I've not seen anything about this. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah, Zarian like sees something, but he's like waffling, so who knows?
Yeah, I've seen like a few people like try and predict that this is like a Tokyo Dome show because it's I don't know.
Yeah, Dreams are pretty common. Yeah, that sounds like a Japanese naming convention. Yeah,
the Japanese man, they love those dreams, you know.
Ooh, Kimosabi. I'm just reading through the chat right now. Kimosabi said Leo Rush in Best of Super Juniors.
Oh, definitely.
That's like great shout. Yeah, he'd be awesome. Okay, and then even like I'd be fine if they didn't put fucking like Show in it. Like, get him out of there. Who cares?
I really like Show, but he's like in a dumb.
Not in this version of him. Right.
No.
And then also, MF's 84, TK need to run Despy Hiromu versus Lucha Bros.
I don't think the Lucha Brothers will be on Forbidden Door.
That would be wild. They could do. Yeah, I don't think Lucha Bros are going to be on Forbidden Door.
I don't think Lucha Bros, Commander, or Bandito.
You could do that. You could do something like that. You could do like versus Desperado and Narita at like Ring of Honor or something like that.
Yeah, the ridiculous thing is they could face Lucha Bros easily on Ring of Honor.
Yeah, on Ring of Honor, but not on Forbidden Door, not on a New Japan branded show, unfortunately. But that sounds sick. But it would be like Desperado to Narita. I don't think they would do Desperado Hiromu teaming up. Teton's got to be back too, right? Because he's in LIJ. Okay. Thank you for this context here on Wrestle Dream. It was WWF SWS show in 1991, so that's why people think it's going to be an AW New Japan show in Japan. Sweet, sounds good to me.
I don't think it would be the Dome though. I think it'd probably be like
they should go to Super Saitama Arena.
That's a good shout.
Yep. All right. Anyway, sorry, Jamie, we cut you off. Beast of the week.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Just before I get that in, the stuff about Wrestle Dream reminded me. You see Kidani from Bushi Road wants that Stardom show to be like Wrestle Kingdom for Stardom.
Oh yeah,
I like that. I like
yeah.
that.
I'm down with that. That's fine by me.
If you get one of these shows every year of this quality, then
Yep,
I'm all for
I
it.
will take it.
Yeah. Well, my beast of the week, I don't need to spend too long on it because we discussed it quite a little bit earlier. It's the new Wonder of Stardom champion, Mina Shirakawa. Like, just like I had a match that I don't think anyone conceived she could have had, like, of that quality. Just like insanely good. I don't need to spend too much on it, but she's my beast of the week.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. A lot of times we like to think outside the box, but sometimes there's weeks where it's just people are too undeniable for me to not pick them, and for me, it's Tam Nakano. I thought she was the best wrestler out of anybody in the past week. I thought she, and this is not me making a Cody reference. This was just me talking. She finished her story in getting to the pinnacle of Stardom in a way that I never thought she would, and she beat one of the best wrestlers in the world to do it. I still can hardly believe that she is world champion in Stardom right now. Murph has dropped his microphone on the floor.
Sorry, drop the mic.
Nice. But yeah, Tam Nakano for me.
My beast of the week is an outside the box one because I am outside the box.
Fair enough.
My beast of the week's an old man. My beast of the week's a man with a mustache. My beast of the week is Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
You fucking.
Because Vince McMahon kicked CM Punk out of Raw, and there's nothing I find more respectable than owning CM Punk. And also, Vince is actively fucking up the place I want to be fucked up the most. So, as W.B. Gareth would say, thank you, Vince.
That's gonna be a wild post on the Dumb Guy Live account.
That's gonna be really weird. It's gonna be a weird graphic. It's gonna be a weird post.
Please make sure it's the one with the mustache. I love that picture.
Oh yeah, I will.
Oh, it will be. That's how you get engagement. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for us this week. Next week, we'll give you the full Duntaku preview. We'll talk about the New Japan matches that we previewed this week, and we'll obviously we'll know the best of Super Juniors contestants as well. We probably don't do a full preview, but we'll definitely be reacting to the news of who's in the tournament and all that type of stuff. So it's going to be a really New Japan heavy week next week, and they've been on fire this year, so I'm looking forward to that. We will know Sonata will have had his first title defense as champion, so we'll see how that goes. But and we'll see who Okada's mystery partner is. I'm very looking forward to that. All right, thank you everybody for watching. We love you, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody. Peace.